Hello, Red5 Designs here with a little look or guide about our guide. This is our mini guide to the Kenner cardbacks, and in specific, the reverse of the cardbacks. This guide will help you identify a cardback you might be missing, or one that you've been on the hunt for. Let's delve in and take a closer look. To start with, we have all the contents listing all the different sections of the cardback listed throughout the book. Then we move on to the introduction, which tells you how the book works, as it's not one to be flicked through from page to page. We also list items such as stickers that are applied to the cardback reverse, shown on the right. Then it shows you how the forthcoming page layouts work, and in particular, the spreads with the cardbacks identified. It explains all the elements on these pages, and we keep everything in the same position from spread to spread, so you can easily identify those points of information each time. Still part of the introduction, we list all the card offers or elements that appeared on the front of the cards, shown on the left-hand page, and later on, the book will cross-reference these with any of the resulting cardbacks reverse. On the right-hand page, we start the process to identify any of the desired cardbacks within the Kenner US range. Question 1 will ask you what branding is on the reverse of the cardback, and depending on the answer, you will be required to jump to the corresponding page for that brand. We will then go on to ask more questions in order to narrow the selection and ultimately identify the cardback. Let's give it a try. Here is an example of a Kenner cardback. Looking at it, we can see that it has Star Wars branding at the top. So going back to the guide, we are told we need to jump to page 10 of the book. We are now asked the next question in the process. How many figures on the reverse of the cardback? Looking at the cardback again, we can see there are 20 figures included, 8 at the top and 12 in a row below. Then the guide tells us to jump to page 32, where we are presented with another question. This time we need to determine if it's a master or a subsidiary cardback. As explained in the introduction of this guide, we have determined that master cardbacks are those that are purely printed without any sticker embellishments added, and the subsidiaries are those masters with stickers applied. Again, looking at the cardback in question, we can see that there are no stickers applied, which means it's a master, so we jump to page 34 as instructed. Each time we answer a question, we're another step closer to identifying the cardback, and at this stage we're down to 3 possibilities. To determine which of the 3 it is, we need to pinpoint the characteristics that make each cardback unique. The 3 options here show that one carries certain prototype images of playsets, with another production versions of playsets, and the third depicts the action feature of Boba Fett's rocket pack. Let's take another look at the cardback in question to determine which it is. From the options, we can see that the unique element is on the blue panel at the bottom of the card. On closer inspection, we can see that this is showing the production versions of the playsets in question. So onto page 38 we go. We have a result. By following the simple questions, we were able to identify the cardback as 20 MB. Here on the card identify spread, we give all the information out for that particular card. We can see at the top the answers given at each stage in order to identify this card. We can also see a breakdown of the card's code, along with the legacy or historical reference code this cardback has. And if we move down, there is a list of all the figure fonts that would have appeared with the card's reverse, along with their offer codes. These are listed in the introduction of the guide. Moving over to the right hand page, we have a full colour image of the cardback itself. And below that, we display the front offer or elements that corresponded to this particular cardback's opposite side. From this point, if you have another card to identify, you return to question 1 on page 9 and start the process again. Let us now take a quick look at another card identify spread to see how they may differ. Again, we have another Star Wars card and another 20 back. After all, the 20 back have the most variations. Looking at the information at the top, we can see the options that were chosen in order to get to this page, along with a breakdown of the card's code. This time, because the cardback's reverse has stickers applied, the code has more elements to it. We can see from the code that it's a 20 back master and version C of that master. Below the code, we see the historical reference that this card is referred to. However, this particular card was originally classified as a 20E, but the 20E actually had 2 cardbacks under it due to similarities between the yellow background sticker applied, the difference being that one had rounded corners and the other square. Under that, we have the code breakdown. In this, we can see how the code is a reference to the elements that make up that card, 20 being the number of figures, M denoting the fact that it's a master, C being the version of master it is, and S2A, which is the code of the sticker applied. If it was the square cornered version, it would be S2B. So as you go through the guide, you can see the logic in the codes for the card backs, understand the elements that make up that card back from the code itself, and understand the individual characteristics that make that card back unique. The book also gives you a full list of figure codes for the front side references, and a full checklist that cross-references all those codes with corresponding reverses they would have appeared on. All this in one compact handy guide ready to assist you in your collecting adventure.